Gridiron Warriors take the field in an epic battle that is larger than life. It is called Texas High School Football. Only one show can bring the greatest sport from the greatest state into focus. Lone Star Gridiron.
The Texas High School Coaches Association and Coaches Education Foundation had a new motto in 2017. Quite simply, helping coaches to help kids. None of it more evident than hearing from the guest who had a great message for the coaches who coach the kids of America.
Coach Tom Herman.
Our state has been rated a little bit, as you know, in recruiting, and we've got to do. This is the best high school football playing state in our country, and we at the University of Texas, we're the flagship university of this great state, and so it's our job to make sure that these guys stay home and can win championships by staying home and get a great education. But to that end, we have to have relationships with their coaches because they play such an integral part in a young man's decision.
You know, I asked those coaches the question, I said, how many of you are coaches because of a coach? You got impacted by a person. And virtually every hand went up. And I said, you know, I would have thought it was because of the big money in coaching. It's not. But a coach has to have a passion for kids, not just a love for his sport.
I mean, coaches arguably spend more time with anybody during the developmental years of a teenager. I really talked about authentic, relentless, and selfless service as being leadership. Service to a cause, to our family, to a community, to our church, to a team.
Colonel Craig Flowers served 25 years in the U.S. Army as a human intelligence officer. Now he trains military personnel, NASA astronauts, and NCAA athletes how to win. He says pronoun usage is key to motivation.
Really challenging coaches with we, us, and our as opposed to I, me, and my. The use of pronouns in a position room is really important. For example, we talked about when a coach says, hey, I need you to show me what this play looks like. Okay, now it's between the coach and that one player. But when we say, hey, let us take a look at this play and let us point out what our covers are and our reads are in this defense, suddenly the whole room is contributing. And it changes the dynamic of a unit meeting room.
I mean, you have an opportunity as a coach and a teacher to really influence somebody for the rest of their life. And the last part of what I've shared today is sometimes those little small things that you don't even think about, they can make the biggest difference in a kid's life.
San Antonio's Dave Davlin traveled the world using basketball entertainment as his livelihood. Today he throws in a little comedy relief before hammering home a message of game-winning threes of life.
My message today was called the Game-Winning Three. It's based on the person you become, the memories you create, and the difference you make. And I think that's a scorecard for life for all of us. If we can go through our life and we're developing ourselves as people every day, we're creating great memories for ourselves and other people, and then we're making a difference, that's a life well spent.
You know, these coaches get to impact kids every day. They're spending more time with these kids than most other adults. And so I love being able to invest in them, to equip them, to then go equip their players. And I just love what the Texas High School Coaches Association does. Just an incredible event, and they're really investing in being intentional with their coaches.
Kevin Deshazo discussed coaching in a digital age with social media for today's athlete and coach.
Yeah, I mean, social media is not going away, and as coaches, we have to embrace it. We don't have to love it, but we have to realize that this is a huge part of our kids' lives, of our own lives. So we just have to be intentional in making sure that our players and ourselves are equipped for success.
On your Twitter feeds, talk like an adult with good English, because that's how you get jobs.
Pastor Derwin Gray, known as Dewey, played for current THSCA Executive Director D.W. Rutledge at Converse Judson. The Rocket soared to the NFL and is now the pastor at Transformation Church in South Carolina.
And we live in a world where people love to tweet but not get to work.
A significant life makes other lives better, and in the process, your life is double blessed.
How did DW bless your life?
I think the first thing was modeling it, because as a 15-year-old, you just don't know. But we would pray before practice. I seen integrity. I seen discipline. I seen structure. I caught the bug of you can become anything you want to be if you work hard. but not just work hard, if you have a strategy for why you work. And then if you surround yourself with like-minded people, you can accomplish a lot more by helping others accomplish their dreams. So if everybody tried to help everybody accomplish their dreams, imagine how beautiful the world would be.
Your teenagers don't need you to be friends with them. They got enough of those.
The why of why you coach will determine how you define success. Success will determine the culture you create, and the culture you create shapes the kids. And so that's what they leave when they leave your program. So if your why is not in alignment with developing kids who are respectful, responsible, resilient, who can make an impact in the world, then you're misaligned. And so you have hopes, and hope without a strategy leads to frustration. And at the end of the day, as a coach, you are entrusted with people's most precious gifts, their children. And so you're a potter and they're clay.
W-O-R-K, work and respect. We need a generation that understands that nobody is going to give you anything. There is no free handouts.
The Texas High School Coaches Association is a model for all those other associations around the country because they do a great job of trying to help educate their coaches.
Greg Dale is a director of sports psychology and leadership programs at Duke University. He wants coaches to put down the playbook every now and then and establish a healthy team culture.
Coaches spend so much time developing the game plan and teaching the technical parts of what they do, and they have to do that. And that's their wheelhouse. That's where they're comfortable. But many of them don't spend time on culture. And if it's going to eat your strategy for lunch, then why wouldn't you spend time on that, right? So I just try to give them some ideas about how to develop relationships, how to help their kids develop relationships, how to develop the leadership and hold kids accountable and those kinds of things. Understanding that if we have a strong base and foundation in our culture, then our strategy is going to just take care of itself.
As a head coach, you can be very demanding on the field. You can be, and you can demand things from the players that maybe they've never even thought they were capable of doing. But in order to do that, in order to be as difficult as we are on the field, you have to have those relationships off the field, and those take time, but we have done a really good job throughout the course of these last couple months, really trying to build those relationships outside of football with the players.
Of note, Seminole head football coach Kent Jackson won the Grant Taft Coaching Beyond the Game Award for various fan support systems he has in place with the Indians, who finished 9-4 before falling to Sweetwater in the regional finals.
Do something that lets those kids know every day that you love them and that you are, without a doubt, are more interested in them as a person than you are as a player.
Bill Curry spoke of genius, power, and magic, unleashing your personal magnanimita, which is Latin for greatness of spirit and soul. Curry played in the NFL under Vince Lombardi, among other coaches, which inspired him to the NCAA coaching ranks. Curry's message was about players working hard and committing to not letting down their teammates.
But unless you have located your greatness of spirit and developed it and given it with all your heart to a cause greater than yourself, then you will never understand what leadership or what life is really about.
Perhaps Colonel Craig Flowers sums up the THSCA the best.
The Texas High School Coach Association, it's teaching coaches how to teach.
In San Antonio, Jeff Power, LoneStarGridiron.com. LoneStarGridiron.com. Access the complete history of Texas high school football, over 100 years of information, win-loss records, coaching histories, individual stats, records, and more. Lone Star Gridiron, the authority on Texas high school football.